All right, gonna go through some daily bias today in regards to Nasdaq and ES. That's all I trade, so that's all I'm gonna do my daily bias on. So obviously, we're gonna start out with the news today. We have final manufacturing PMI at 945, and then we have manufacturing PMI at 10. So decent news during the macro, especially with manufacturing PMI. Usually, this I thought this was high impact news. I guess I considered, but we do have some decent news at 10 a.m. and 9:45 and 10 a.m. So decent bit of news. Moving into the charts themselves, we do have quite the looking chart. So I'll get rid of all these drawings for right now, and then I will kind of redraw them. So ES, we'll start with ES. We have obviously on the high time frame, we have these draws of liquidity up here, and then we have London session lows located here, and Asia session lows located right here. But these are more, this is the low. But to be more or less, we have this new week opening gap. Again, we have another one. We had one last week. We have one this week. So it's already been tapped into. We are actually hovering right around it. We did sweep a ton of liquidity out to the downside. We did take this out as well, which I was fairly surprised. I didn't think this would be touched for a while, but with the new week opening gap helping, price move down this much, I'm not surprised. Again, like last week, we also had this new week opening gap, but this is like obviously what last week looked like. We were extremely bearish between Asia session and London session. We just tanked after this new week opening gap. So usually it looks more like this, how we'll hover around this new week opening gap and then make a move to fill it in. Versus last week, it took us until Friday to completely fill it in. So obviously last week we had 2, 3 really, 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 really good price action days. So I'm really hoping we get that this week as well. Obviously today, London session has just been a big chop session. There's absolutely nothing going on here. It's just not really moving. On ES, it's moved $20-ish, 60, 20, almost $30. On Nasdaq, again, it's gonna look the same way on Nasdaq. We just have no big moves, really. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. We don't really have too many high time frame recent order blocks here. Obviously, we have this one right here, which is what I'm more kind of less eyeing out here. Is this really nice bullish bullish order block located right here? If we can take out London session and Asia session, I would be expecting longs all the way up to Asia session high or London session high. So I'd be very interested to see if we can get that. That'd be really cool. If we're able to move down sweep, if we have good enough price action, we have enough volume. Obviously, if there's not enough volume, we're not going to be moving anywhere. But that's what I would ideally look for on the high time frame. So again, we do have this big, and then you can consider this. Obviously, this was also a 4-hour low that we swept out here. So we do have some kind of like pre-market ish liquidity sweeps. Obviously, all this high time frame liquidity here has been completely swept out. So on the 4 hour, so on the hourly, we do have this really nice bullish order block right here, along with London session lows and Asia session lows. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, obviously. But we could see a continuation to the downside, and if that's the case, we do have this high time frame bearish order block right here. We have that final move up before the move down. So, but really, other than that, I would rather not short a new week opening gap that's right here. That's just not really what I would like to do. Obviously, we see last week that never really happened. Yeah, well, in this session, London session here, we did Asia session did tap into it and then have a reaction down. But in general, I really don't like on Friday when we had it. Obviously, we see the gap is right here and the top of it's right here, and we completely filled it in during New York session last week. So and then obviously we see the sell off. I don't even know what the fuck caused this, but yeah, that's ES on NQ. Move over to NQ. Again, is going to be more or less the same story. We have the new week opening gap located right here. We haven't filled too much of it in, but we also have London session lows. We are a little bit closer to London session lows here. And then we also have Asia session lows right here. And then we also have this like stray low here from when price first opened up at, what is that, 6:30 yesterday. So we'll see how this plays out. Again, I'm not really going to try and short this imbalance. I would love for price to come back down, sweep all this liquidity right here, and then we get a rally up. But if that's not the case and we just range today, then obviously I'm not going to be taking a trade. So we'll see about those. Obviously, ES looks more or less like the better setup here, with all these session lows located right here and right here. So I'm going to be patient today. Obviously, understand that we have some high impact news at 10 a.m. So that is pretty much it for Daily Bias. I will upload a trade recap if I even take a trade today. And that's pretty much it.